Today, I want to talk a little bit about diversifying your resale business, something that I'm going to be doing, and also get into the sales from this past weekend on eBay. I've got 11 sales to talk about where I bought the items, how much I paid for them, so you can get an idea of the profit that I'm making while selling in the everything category on eBay. But if this is your first time here, my name is Brian and I'm a reseller. I sell on eBay in the everything category. I go to garage sales, estate sales, Facebook Marketplace, and thrift stores, and I find items to sell on eBay for a profit most of the time. So let's get right into diversifying your resale business. I have a pretty diverse inventory. I've only got about 430 items listed right now, but it's pretty diverse. I have clothing, I have shoes, hats, pots, pans, tools, toys, all sorts of stuff listed in my inventory. You'll get a good snapshot of that whenever I go through the 11 sales from this weekend. So I feel like I've done an okay job there, but now I'm going to be going back to cross-listing. I was cross-listing last year. I was using Arot, which is rebranded to Nifty.ai. And the platform worked okay. It would auto share your closets and refriend or whatever they do on Poshmark. It did all the stuff for you. You could set the parameters on how often and all that kind of stuff. So I had that going. So I was selling on Poshmark, Depop, and Mercari. I did it for about, I think 6 months and maybe about 5 months, 5 or 6 months. I think I got it maybe, I don't know, a dozen sales on Mercari, something like that. Maybe about a dozen sales on Depop, less, I think, actually. And then on Poshmark, I got maybe 20, 24 sales, something like that, for that time frame. So whenever I looked at the dollar value I was spending, it didn't make sense at that time to continue because I didn't have a large clothing selection yet. And Depop and Poshmark are very heavy in fashion. So hats, shoes, clothing, and I wasn't heavy in that. And I'm still not as heavy as a lot of people, but I have a bigger assortment than I used to. And so I'm going to get back into it. Whenever I was doing it, I think it was, I want to say it was like $69 a month because I had the feature that would auto delist across all the platforms once you sold something, and it shared all your stuff and it ended your listings. It did all those things across all those platforms. So I did like that feature, but again, it didn't make sense to me at the time to continue with it because of the fashion aspect. So I've been diversifying my business as far as inventory. Now, coming off of, it really made me think about it having a slower week last week for 4th of July week. 18 total items sold last week, and 11 of those were Friday through Sunday. But it's really caused me to look at my business overall, and I'm going to try the cross-listing thing again. It's super easy to get into, so I'm going to go back to it. I'm going to look at Nifty AI first and see what the options are, and I might look at a couple other platforms as well. If you have recommendations out there on platforms to look at for cross-listing, I would encourage you or ask you, please drop that down in the comments so I can take a look at anything that anyone else is using or prefers. Might be a better one out there than Nifty. But for me, it's going to be a tactic going forward. I'm probably going to stick to just putting clothing at first on there. I may list, like I've got some Bath and Body Works stuff up there. I may list that on there. But I'm just not going to be, I'm not listing my tools on Poshmark or Depop or anything like that. One thing that was super frustrating, I did like that Poshmark has, somebody sends you an offer and you accept it. It's an instant sale. It sells right away. I did like that. Depop, I had several people send me offers on stuff. I think I accepted something like 8 or 10 offers, and nobody that sent me an offer ever ended up buying the item, not one person. I was like, and I was responding immediately. I had my notifications on, I was responding very quickly, and it was just that platform was so frustrating. And I don't know if it's because of the people that are shopping there. I say people, the age range, it typically tends to lean towards younger buyers. And I wonder if they're just sending a bunch of offers out. You know, they've got $50 to spend and they send a bunch of offers out to people to see who accepts what and where they can spend their $50. But I don't know if there's any changes there. I hope maybe there's some changes there, but we'll see. And then Mercari, it was just, you know, whatever. It was okay, but sold a few things there. So that's really it on diversification. So that's the direction I'm headed. I'm going to be doing that this week. I'm probably going to wait till the end of the week. So if there's any suggestions on cross-listing platforms, I'll take a look at those. And then at the end of the week, I'll make my decision and start getting things listed up for next weekend. Now we can get into the sales part of this past weekend. I sold 11 items. I had 2 items sell on Friday. I had 3 items sell on Saturday and 6 items yesterday on Sunday. And I was wondering, I was like, man, am I going to get to, you know, I wonder if I get to 10 items for the weekend. Luckily, I scooted just past that to 11 items. But yeah, it was a little bit slower than some weekends, but still, I'm not upset with 11 items sold over the weekend. I'm perfectly happy with that. Unfortunately, a lot of them, because I don't have a lot of higher value items listed right now, a lot of them were lower value items, but we'll get into that. And I'm just going to go over them in the order they were sold and get right into it. So the first item that sold is this Physic. It's called a saddle. I call it a bicycle seat, but I guess if you're racing, it's called a saddle. I picked this up at a local thrift store for $2, and I paid $2, and I sold it for $27.92 plus shipping on an offer. It's a specialty. I think it's magnesium. It's a weird makeup. It's made in Italy. It's a really nice seat. Whenever I saw it at the thrift store and I saw that it was made in Italy, that's what caused me to want to look it up. And the fact that it was separate tells me that if it's in really good shape and it's not on the bike, that means it was probably on a decent bike and somebody put on a more high-end seat. And I was like, okay. And I bought it and sold it. Sold that in about a month. Next item up is this pair of Wrangler jeans. This is something my dad picked up for me at a garage sale and brought me a handful of things. So they're brand new with the tags, just the 5-star denim. It's not their higher end, and it's not, I don't think it's their lowest end. It's just somewhere on the kind of the lower end of their products, but paid $2 for these and sold those for $14.92 plus shipping on an offer that I sent. I sent the offer out on that one. The next item that sold is this Costa Del Mar Costa sunglasses. So like that 80s camo print mesh baseball cap. I picked this up at a garage sale in my neighborhood for 50 cents and sold that pretty quickly in about a week for $14.89 plus shipping. That was a pretty decent flip right there. This next one was cool. I like old media storage. Vintage media storage is cool. This is a 4-sided 8-track, and it's on a Lazy Susan, so it spins, but holds 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 24 8-tracks. It's got the vintage wood grain on it with the handle. But I picked it up at a garage sale for $4 and sold it for $24.89 plus shipping. Next is my biggest sale of the weekend, which I also did a separate short video about. I mentioned Bath & Body Works, so I've got some other Bath & Body Works up here. All of the Bath & Body Works I have right now are retired scents. They're all used. I sell them in the collectibles category with perfumes and colognes on eBay. It's against the rules on eBay to sell used products in the non-collectibles category, like just the perfume category. All beauty products are supposed to be brand new. So you don't sell the retired used items there. You sell those in the collectibles category. Not saying there's not people who don't break the rules, but if you want to not get your items delisted or whatever, just sell them in the collectibles category. People are searching for the scent. They're not searching in the category. They're searching for vanilla cocoa scent or whatever. So they're searching by the scent, not the category. So let's take a look. This is the #1 sale from the weekend. So this is their sexy line, the Dahlia Rush scent. Again, it is retired. So the fragrance mist is 75% full. The shower gel is 50% full. I did this one by eyesight. I was like, okay, it's right exactly in the middle of the bottle, 50% full. This one, what I do is I take a measuring tape and I put it in the picture. From the bottom to the top is 6 inches. And right there, it's 4.5 inches to the liquid line. So that's 75% full. So that's something I do put it in the description, which most people do. They'll put whatever the description is, 75% full. And in this case, because I had both of them, I listed 75% and 50%. A lot of people will sell this stuff fairly cheap whenever you find it at a garage sale or an estate sale because they think it's just used product and nobody wants it. And oh, I've had it for a long time. There are people who get stuck on the scent they have and they really like it. And the only place you can find it, unless you want to go to a million garage sales and estate sales, is eBay. So I picked these up and I've got a bunch of other bottles right up there for $1 a piece. So I paid $2 for these two. And I sold the pair for $45.89 plus shipping. And when I showed that to my wife, she was like, that's so weird that people would buy used stuff. Like I'd be worried that somebody was putting stuff in it or yeah, she's not buying used beauty products, not my wife. But there are plenty of people that do, and it makes total sense that, again, if you find a scent that you like, and this really the only place you can get it consistently is on eBay. You got people like me going out and finding it in those places and putting it up for sale. And I was comping it all. There was a bunch that was a little bit newer and not worth maybe $5 to $8 a bottle, and that I left behind, and I only picked up about 5 or 6 pieces total that were retired scents. Glad to have those go out the door, and they sold in about 24 hours, maybe less than 24 hours. Actually, they were. It sold the same day. Listed them, and they sold probably within about 12 hours. So if you get the right ones, they're going to go. The next item that sold is this Tivana mug. Super cool pattern. I picked this up at a Goodwill for $1.18. There's a little crack right there that goes all the way through the handle. You can't feel it. You can just see it. I did point it out very obviously in the pictures so that people knew what they were getting. But it's a really cool mug, Tivana mug. Picked it up for $1.18 and sold it on an offer. Somebody sent me an offer for $8 and I took it. I think I had it listed for $14.89. I've had it listed for probably about 4 or 5 months. So I decided to take the offer and go on down the road. $8 plus shipping. Next item that sold another pair of jeans. These are Arot, however you want to say it. These are the M2s. The reason these had value, Arot has some value anyhow, but these are a 33 size waist, which is, not a great selling size on the waist size, but these were a 38-inch length. So 38-inch inseam, which is unusual. So the sell-through rate on that was, I think, about 100%, which is why I bought them. So I paid $10.47 for those, and I sold them for $27.11 plus shipping on an offer that I sent to the buyer. Next, we've got some Pampered Chef. I like selling Pampered Chef. A lot of people probably don't because it can break when you ship it, but not if you package it right. So this I got at an estate sale. The box it has a box to it. This is a gingerbread mold school post office, but it has 2 different. So there's it's hard to see probably. There's the school and the post office is behind it. I'm not going to dig it out because it took me a while to get it all packaged up correctly again. But it's got all the manuals. It's got the pastry filling bag. It's got all sorts of stuff there. But I picked that up for $3 at an estate sale. and sold it for $24.89 plus shipping. That one I've had for about 4 months as well. Next, we have a pair of Saks SAXX swim trunks that I picked up at Goodwill for $5.75 and sold those for $16.02 on an offer that I sent out to the buyer. There's a handful of buyers. I think there's 3 or 4 interested buyers whenever I sent it out, and somebody took me up on the offer. Had those for a few months. I got some golf clubs I'm sending some aggressive offers on. Any swim trunks I'm sending aggressive offers on because it's the beginning of July, but pretty soon we're going to be at the end of summer, and I want to have as much of that summer style or time merchandise moved out as possible to get my cash back. So next we have this set of Starbucks cups. These are from 2021. So these are a few years old. It's the 4 cold cups with the straws and the lids. I picked up, there's the patterns right there on the back. I've got, or is it 5? 5 cups, not 4. 5 cups in there. I picked up 4 boxes of those at a garage sale for $10. So I've got $2.50 into that pack right there. And I sold it for $11 plus shipping on an offer. That's an offer somebody sent to me, and I accepted it. I've got 1 more left out of the 4. It's funny, I was like, you guys just decided you didn't like all your Starbucks cups? And he goes, nah. He goes, I've got a niece that works at Starbucks, and she'll buy a bunch of clearance merchandise, and then we sell it in garage sales. It's pretty funny. All right. And the last item. I really thought this was going to take longer to sell. I'm surprised that it didn't. It's a Haynes manual for Chevy and GMCs. These used to be super, super, super hot. This one's pretty flooded on the market on eBay, but I picked it up for $2 at an estate sale and sold it for $11.89 plus shipping in 1 week. The sell-through rate was pretty slow on those. I really thought it was going to take a few months. Honestly, I picked it up because I thought it would. I was looking at the years, and I thought the truck that my dad has is an 88, and this is for 88 through 98 models. Turns out his is an 86. And I didn't realize, just looking at the picture, that it's a different body style. But I saw the year, and I was like, oh, that'll cover his truck too. But it didn't, so I decided to put it up for sale, and luckily it sold fast and for a profit. And that is everything that sold this weekend, all 11 items. If you're still here, I appreciate you sticking around, truly. If you have any comments or questions about anything that you saw here or heard here today, please leave that down in the comment section below, or just any question in general, you can leave that down in the comment section, and I'll make sure and get back to you right away. And until next time, have a great day.